Shalom, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai. I'll give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect across planet Earth, pushing this truth in spirit, in sincerity, and in truth. I got this article out of Russia today entitled "The War on Iran Could Remake the World." Interesting title, and the subheader was "Hostilities in the Middle East pushes the world toward a harsher global order." And Lord will, man, this war will push closer to this new world order. Scriptures speak about when he's about to fill his belly, But then again, the Lord, Yahushai, he has his new world order. He's going to remake the world, when he returns. So they can only go so far with their new world order. But it says the United States and Israel justified their military campaign against Iran by claiming it was necessary to protect themselves and the world from nuclear threat. Which they claim, but really, it's about those resources. Tehran was accused of secretly accumulating enough weapons-grade uranium to build up to 11 atomic bombs. Yet after the first week of bombing, it became clear that nuclear fears were only part of the story. So the big thing that's in the news is nuclear weapons, man. That's part of prophecy as well, man. America's going to be destroyed by these nuclear weapons and multiple places on the earth, and Israel's going to be destroyed, but Israel's going to be built back up again. These nuclear weapons, they're the weapons of the Lord's indignation. It's what the Lord is going to use to take down these nations, and take down Esau now. But scripture say, "Let the weak say I'm strong." So this country like Iran, they want this power. The war against Iran is not merely another Middle Eastern conflict. It marks the latest stage in a long process of upheaval that has been reshaping the region since the end of the Cold Era, of the Cold War. And the consequences of what is happening today will extend far beyond the Middle East. Yeah, it's going to, worldwide. So we're talking about a harsher global order. You already see the gas prices rising, but eventually, this man is going to initiate, his great global reset. The current war can be seen as a culmination of the transformation that began more than 3 decades ago. The modern Middle East emerged in the 20th century during the decline of the colonial empires, but the order began to unravel in 1991 when the United States launched Operation Desert Storm to expel Iraqi forces from Kuwait. Yeah, so it wasn't that time yet. The Middle East got real hot during, 1991, Desert Storm and all that. I think President Bush Senior, was the president. And they enacted that war, but it wasn't time. The timing was symbolic, but it wasn't, prophetic. The Gulf War coincided with the dramatic shift in global politics, the collapse of the Soviet Union, the end of the Cold War, and the emergence of what was often called the unipolar movement. The period unraveled American dominance. So they had the collapse of the Soviet Union. But the scriptures say that the Lord's going to put hooks in their jaws and turn them back. So now we're in that time where Russia is trying to go back to that Soviet Union. That was during the time, 91, where it collapsed. Gorbachev and all of them. But the prophecy wasn't time yet. Now we're in that time because the Lord is putting hooks in their jaws and turning them back to that Soviet Union, trying to get back those lands. That were followed with a chain of reaction and crises and interventions. The terrorist attacks on New York and Washington in September 2001 triggered the global war on terror. Yeah, the Patriot Act, and all those acts, you know, all those different laws, unrighteous decrees, was enacted so that they can push forward one step closer, to their New World Order. And a lot of conspiracy theorists, they feel that September 2001 was an inside job, and it was, it was demolished. It was a demolition job, man. The third building just fell. You watch those videos, and plus all the predictive programming. A lot of these television shows, The Simpsons, they all predicted, looking back in hindsight, looking back on everything, all these old programs, that they would show buildings going into the World Trade Center. So all that was planned and calculated, one step closer to their New World Order. Leading military campaigns in Afghanistan and Iraq, the Arab Spring then destabilized regimes across the region, and the Arab Spring. That was the beginning of the uproars of the people, man. There's all kinds of riots going on. We never really seen anything like that before. The Arabs is going wild over there. They're in that Arab Spring, that they called it. Those uproars of the people. That prophecy started to come to pass afterwards. And it's been nothing but uproars ever since, Followed by intervention in Libya and a prolonged civil war in Syria. Each crisis pulled more actors into the vortex. Gradually control over events slipped away from those who had initiated them. Yeah, so I say these wars going to lead to more events closer and closer to the New World Order. When he's about to fill his belly, but the Lord has his New World Order that's coming. That new heavens, that new earth. Just jumping down, it says, however, even if Iran were defeated military in a relatively short time, the central question would remain unanswered. What comes next? Well, eventually, World War III is going to come next. That mark of the beast is going to come next. Our temptation, the time of Jacob's trouble, all hell's breaking loose here in America. But ultimately, that after all that, that World War III, and then that destruction we saw, man. This is Job 20:22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. That wicked's talking about our people, man. In the fullness of his sufficiency, the hand of the wicked shall come upon him. That word there goes into labor, a laborer. So some of the Israelites, man. Jacob's going to stand up against this man. When he's about to fill his belly, right when he's about to get that New World Order off the ground, man, he's going to implement that chip, crash the dollar system, all that. So right when he's about to fill his belly, the Lord's going to let him get so far. Then the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and he shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Ultimately, that nuclear destruction, man. The Lord's gonna put a monkey wrench in that New World Order plans, man, and get him with his own creation. Weapons of it. His nuclear technology created those weapons, and the Lord's gonna use it against himself. Using them against himself. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. The iron weapon, that nuclear missiles, man. He's gonna try to flee from them, like it says in Amos. He's gonna go into these mountain retreats, mountain hideouts. He's gonna go into his deep underground military bases. He's gonna go into the ocean. He's gonna try to go out in space. But the Lord's gonna stop him. It is drawn and cometh out the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out the gall. Terrors are upon him. It's talking about silos, the missile silos. They're gonna come up from out of the ground. It was a vision that he saw. The missiles coming up out of the ground, out of the silos, and then coming back down into the atmosphere. Next verse is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So he's going to come with those unrighteous decrees, man, when he's about to fill his belly. And the main unrighteous decree is that microchip, to where you can't buy anything or sell anything. At least you have the mark, man. It says right here, you could put some people to death. There's gonna be some martyrs. You know, if they don't take the chip or they don't bow down to the New World Order, to this system, man. Those are gonna be put to death in concentration camps. This is Revelation 20 and 4. Then I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High. Yeah, so got some prophets, men out there, gotta be martyrs, man, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image. You know, the image, you know, is this Roman system reincarnated, man. If you're not down with the system, you know, you can put to death. Neither had received his mark on their foreheads or in their hands. That mark, yeah, that charagma, MOTB, mark of the beast, the chip, RFID chip, technology, brain chips, Neuralink, all that, man. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years, man. So hey, you know, if you die in this thing, if your lot is to be a martyr in this truth, man, hey, it's a win-win situation. Scriptures say, "Be thou faithful unto death. The Lord's going to give thee a crown of life." Yeah, that's part of this unrighteous decrees, man. He's going to decree during his New World Order that he's going to try to set off, man. And he's about to fill his belly, you know. So the Lord's going to let him get to a certain point. Also, these draconian laws and all that, you know. Yeah, so people are mourning right now with these laws and the way this land is set up, man. This society is set up. It says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, you know, the people mourn. People are mourning all over the planet Earth, man. That's how you know who the wicked is. Hey, but you know, the Lord got you, man. The Lord, you know, this is that just like we read, you know, a long time coming, man. A chain reaction of crises and interventions, man. New York attacks, New York, 9/11. You got the 1991 Desert Storm, the war, all that leading up into to today, you know. A long time coming, but the Lord said, keep the word of my patience. That's why he said patience, man. You don't have to wait on this thing. It's Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. The Lord's going to protect you in that day, man. The Lord got you. Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. The hour of temptation, man. You got to take that mark, you know, that digital system, this digital currency they're going to push. You got to be able to buy anything or sell anything, man. Without it. It's the hour of temptation, man. It's going to, the whole world, you know, the whole world's going to be tested. The Lord said not to take it, man. So you take it, you're going to get caught up in the wrath of the Lord's indignation, man, without mixture, which is this nuclear destruction. You're getting caught up in there. You won't be delivered, man. The Lord said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. You kept this word, man. You're patient in this thing, man. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, man. And the Lord's going to set up his new heavens and his new earth, man. His new rulership, man. The real New World Order. You know, the real remaking of the world, man. It's Isaiah 65 and 17. For behold, I create a new heavens and a new earth. You know, some of that new rulership, man. And the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Yeah, you know, Esau's rulership is going to be, you know, completely forgotten and removed. You know, Esau, he's going to be completely, you know, removed and forgotten, man. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For I behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, for a people a joy. Yeah, forever joy, man. That new heavens and that new rulership, man. It's Revelation 21 and 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven The first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Yeah, first heaven, first earth. It's this rulership that we're in now, man. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven. It's talking about the elect getting beamed back down. Because the elect is going to get, the 144,000 and the 1/3, they're going to be delivered from this nuclear destruction. And they're going to be beamed up into those chariots, what Esau calls UFOs. And that new city, that New Jerusalem, is the elect coming back down. It's all the elect coming down from the chariots back onto the planet Earth, prepared as a bride adored for her husband. I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them. They shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. Yeah, the Lord's going to come back, man. He's going to have respect for his people again, man. Eventually, all Israel will be saved after that, But yeah, the outcome of this war is going on. Lord will, be that New World Order, Esau's New World Order. The Lord's going to put a monkey wrench into that, man. There's always a series of events that happened after this war. Like we went into the 1991 Iraqi war in Kuwait. That set off a series of events. So Lord will, man, this war sets off more series of events, man. Ultimately leading up to the return of Yahweh Shai. With that, Shalom.